Welcome, everyone. I am Chris Gore. I have just returned from a. Let me turn this. I have just returned from a screening of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, and we're going to talk about it. Joining me on the show shortly will be Paulie from Latino Slant, Dante James from Verbal Riot Show, and maybe Alan Ing. Maybe Alan Ing. We shall see. It's a late night stream here on a Wednesday, which is normally when we would do Hollywood on the Rocks. So let's get things started. Let's see who's in the chat. Let's talk about Indiana Jones. I have no idea where Alan is. He is going to be joining us soon, I would assume. He had another appointment today.
Alan.
I have no idea, but he will be joining us soon. Before we get started, let's see who's in the chat, who's joining us. So look at this, over 150 people so far. So let's go. Danny Smith says, "Can't wait. Don't hold back. Tell us everything, please." We will be breaking this up into non-spoiler and then spoiler, and you will be forewarned. So there you go. Davina Duckworth, my God, it's full of fleas. I know what that's a reference to. It's a reference to 2010. So there you go. Thank you, Davina Duckworth. Luminous Brilliance. Okay, Chris Gore, Film Threat. Let's see what you got very soon. Phoebe Waller-Bridge is an independent woman, says Davina Duckworth. I think that would be a great headline if you actually enjoyed the film. And then goes on to say, moving on to ruin Tomb Raider already. A Maggot says, did this release today or did they get a special screening? That was a special screening. Robert Paul Champagne, who's a member, thank you for being a member, says Frank Gore exposed. Well, we saw that earlier today on Critics Court. I don't know. That was crazy this morning. Robert Paul Champagne, Chris got caught staring at Alan's daughter. Guilty. Jay Mooring, please spoil the entire film as I'm not going to see this slop anyway. Well, we'll get into the very beginning of this conversation. I don't want to spoil it because I want people to hang out. And there will be a fair warning. We'll even put up a little banner so that you know. Okay. Robert Paul Champagne. Yay. Late stream. Hell yeah. And Hardwick Benthau. It was a critic screening. Disney did it to try to boost the movie's Rotten Tomatoes score. That's what I said. I've even got like, the security at these things is a little crazy. It's a little crazy. What I was surprised about, they did not confiscate our phones. And I was also very surprised about the fact that they served a ton of drinks. There was a bar and snacks and whatnot. And that's very unusual for that. Carlos Branca says, hi, everybody from Panama. Hey, hello from America. Looking forward to learning more about our hero Fleabag's movie, I mean, Indy. And Hank V or Hank 5 says a special late night stream. Sweet. So there you go. All right. Let's get into it, folks. Let's get into it. It's going to be non-spoiler to start. I think that's just the polite way to begin things. And I'll be monitoring your comments and doing my best because I don't have a producer today. So if you want to get my attention, I'll do my best. It's literally just me. And here we go. Yeah, it's Indiana Jones and the open bar, says Patrick Lemire. That's exactly what it is. I'm going to give you my broad strokes early impression. And I will tell you this. If you have seen the leaked spoilers, I'll say what they are later, but all the leaks are 100% true. Things occur a little bit differently, but all the leaks are completely accurate. First impression, the first 20 minutes of the movie, I could have watched the first 20 minutes of the movie as an entire movie, which was Indiana Jones, a young Indiana Jones as we remembered him from the old films, from Raiders of the Lost Ark, which is, to me, that's the correct title of that movie. I almost could have watched that as an entire film. I didn't see the need to jump to the present where everything goes awry. So what you get at the very beginning is it's the end of World War II. Indiana Jones has snuck into an area where the Nazis have collected a bunch of antiquities, one in particular, a knife that touched the body of Christ, is something that the Fuhrer wants. He feels it holds some power. And it's revealed to be a fake. But the thing that Indiana Jones is really interested in, or his companion Basil, who's a scientist, is interested in this dial that was created by Archimedes. And that becomes the thing that is more precious. And that is what Indiana Jones is after. There's a fight on a train, inside of a train, on top of a train. And what I felt kind of strange was the cutting, the editing, the timing felt so much like an Indiana Jones movie. It was like a correction. It felt like a copy of an Indiana Jones movie. So here I'm watching it going like, this feels like Indiana Jones. The one thing that was really interesting is that they used the deep fake technology with Harrison Ford, the young version of Harrison Ford's face on a different actor's body. And what I realized as I was watching it is that Harrison Ford acts with his entire body. He's a very, at least in his younger years, Harrison Ford was a very physical actor. So as I'm watching this, I'm thinking to myself, well, they got the face is Harrison Ford. It didn't really feel like he was actually saying some of these things. Some of the lines just didn't land, but Harrison Ford acts with his whole body. So I feel like, okay, they spent so much time on the face. He doesn't act like Indiana Jones in his physical presence. And I was like, I tried to put my finger on why is this not 100%? It's kind of working. But as I said, it kind of feels like a copy of an Indiana Jones action sequence. And it just didn't have the kind of, they tried in this action sequence of adding a little bit of comedy. So there's sort of comedic moments mixed with, moments of tension and then moments of just like straight up beating the crap out of Nazis and leading to a spectacular crash ending. And then we cut to the present. And the movie slows down. And you see Indiana Jones. He is just as you see in the trailer, where it starts off with him just sort of sitting, waking up. He's shirtless, sitting in front of the television. You see the divorce papers from Marion. You see that his life is not so great. He makes himself a cup of coffee, tosses in a little bit of booze, and goes off to meet a bunch of students that are he's teaching at another university, and he sees these students, and they're all just as they remind me of like they were basically modern students. They were distracted and didn't really care, except for one person sitting in the back of class, and that was Phoebe Waller-Bridge. And she is the biggest thing wrong with this film. She lacks total chemistry, has no chemistry with Harrison Ford. And on top of that, oh wait, where is Alan? Where is Alan here?
Alan!
Here he is.
Oh my God. Yeah, clearly.
How's it going, man?
Good. I had a better night than you did. That's what I'm feeling.
Dude, yeah, I'm gonna get back to it in just a minute. But yeah, I think you had a better night. What did you Alan did not go to the screening. He had forgotten that he promised his daughter that he had to go to a play. Is that right?
Yeah. Went to see a musical. So it was the musical Six, and it's playing out here in Orange County right now. So yeah, she'd been waiting a whole year to see this one, and we had bought tickets, and we're all very happy and had a great evening.
Hi, Dad, I miss you.
Well, then there you are. There she is. There she is.
My real kid is watching my fake kid on the screen now.
Oh, well, it happens. Alan, if you could do me a favor and monitor the chat, and
yeah, I'm doing that now.
Starring stuff, so I'll respond to it. But we're just getting to Indiana Jones is teaching a class. It's his last class, and you've got a smart-ass student in the back. It's Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who knows everything about Archimedes. Why? Because she is the daughter of Basil, the companion, the sort of scientist companion that Indiana Jones has in the opening sequence of the film. And she knows everything, and she's the bestest ever. If you thought Brie Larson's performance as Captain Marvel was insufferable, there's another factor that you can multiply that by. They basically just made her Indiana in the female version of Indiana Jones, where he is sort of a feeble old man, and she is. There's a scene later in the movie. This is when I started to really hate the film, because to be clear, I always go into things with a completely open mind. Even though I'll hear things, I'm hearing things. It's like, you know what? A lot of people say a lot of things. I'm going to go into it completely clear-headed, open mind. I'm going to, and I'll make up my own mind. But, oh my God. There's a scene later in the film where Phoebe Waller-Bridge is with Indiana Jones. Of course, the whole movie is they're just trying to get the dial. That's it. And there are pieces of it that they have to kind of cobble together. They have to cobble together pieces of the Dial of Destiny. They, in one sequence, they have to go scuba diving underwater, and there are a bunch of eels, and eels are like snakes, which of course is a throwback. The one thing I will say that I feel like they showed some reservation. They showed some reservation when it came to member berries. I mean, there's obviously Indy's hat, Indy's jacket, the whip, etc. But they didn't there wasn't like, oh, look, there's the fertility idol, or there's that, or there's this. There were, I have to actually give them credit. There weren't a lot of member berries. But there's a scene where Phoebe Waller-Bridge runs into a guy who is, they're in like Morocco or somewhere, whatever, Morocco, one of those places. They traveled a lot in this film. And she runs into a guy that's in his pajamas, and he has a machete, and she ran out on him, and he says, "Oh, hey, Raheem, haha." And you see that they have some history, and I'm like, this is something Indiana Jones would have done. They were basically giving Phoebe Waller-Bridge business that would have been something that the old Indiana Jones would have done. And it just made me sad. By the way, someone else is going to be joining us.
Film Threat is inevitable.
And here is Dante James.
Oh my God.
Who was at the same screening that I was at. Hey, Dante, how's it going, man?
Good, man. Very good.
Okay.
Just I'm still processing what we just saw.
Yeah, we all kind of walked out of it. Like, I wanted to as we walked out of the screening, Paulie's like filming himself, like he posts on his channel. We're walking out of the screening, and I'm like, I just want to get away from people so I can speak freely. Because we were around a lot of the type of media that are probably going to give this movie a good review. I will say
you can go ahead and say the shill media, because that's exactly who was there tonight.
Precisely. the shill media for sure. But like it was really interesting because like it was a tepid response through the film. There were moments where the movie had a big action sequence or something happened, and would be a moment to the crowd to react, and nobody reacted. No one reacted, and there was applause at the end, and I was like, for what? I have a suspicion we will get into spoiler territory. I want to keep it spoiler free, but I was just commenting on the thing that ruined the movie for me is Phoebe Waller-Bridge. She is like whatever you disliked about Brie Larson's character in Captain Marvel. It's worse. This is worse.
You know what? I have to agree with that. I like. Look, I'm sure she's a fine actress in other things she's done. I think she was terribly miscast in this film. I think they're trying to make her something that she's not, unfortunately. And I think they're trying to force it in a way where when people watch this film, they're going to have the same kind of visceral reaction to her that we had.
So was she like smug or something, or was she just?
Oh no. Smug would have been great. I would have accepted smug. She's arrogant. She's doesn't care. She just is like, she's all, you know what she is? She's Han Solo from the first Star Wars, A New Hope. She doesn't care. She's just about the money. And you see is there going to be a little change of heart at the end? Well, you can see it coming from a million miles away, but she's just not likable.
But here's the thing. I didn't even buy her being, the person who was all about the money. Like, I didn't even buy her as that.
Exactly. It's so phony. And I cannot believe that they thought that this is something that's going to appeal to audience. And they make there are several parts of the film. She has this little companion named Teddy. He was fine. He's basically, yeah, he's like the Latin short round. And, was he Latin? I thought he was. Maybe he's
I thought he was Middle Eastern.
Middle Eastern. Okay.
Or Moroccan, something like
Moroccan.
that.
All right, that makes me racist now. All right, great. I'm just saying he was actually fine. I didn't have a problem with him, but they have this running thread where she's just checking out guys. And there's a scene where she's on this boat and she finds like, the day's looking good. And she like finds like a flask. It's like, oh, even better. And a guy walks by he's just has no top on. And then it's like, hey, we landed at the right place. And there's like a bunch of like sexy men, like sexy foreign men. And you get the sense that she's just banging dudes left and right on her travels and uses that as her superpower. The other thing is she's quite physical in the film in terms of punching. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm not gonna lie. I've been in situations where a woman has tried to be physical with me in kind of a joking way, and I always laugh. I'm like, you can't like, give it your best shot. Let's see. And so I just found none of it convincing.
But I think that kind of goes to the problem of nothing she did in that film seemed convincing. Like nothing seemed authentic with her.
Nothing.
I agree with you. She was the weakest part of the movie. I'm not saying it would have been, 1,000 times better with her not in it, because the story is still the story. But I think that she dragged that movie down quite a few notches.
I will say what I'm looking forward to is the sexual tension between her and Indy.
There isn't any.
Well, considering he's supposed to be her godfather, it's kind of
that wouldn't stop the normal man.
Well,
talking about Indiana Jones here. Come on, he's got to take her to bed or something.
Well, like I could almost see a different actress, a more likable actress.
Yes.
Let's say this: Nicole Kidman, who's age appropriate for Harrison Ford. Stay with me. Nicole Kidman, who looks stunning. Have her almost do the same role and have there be some romantic tension. I could see that making sense. just like in Top Gun Maverick, you know, you see Tom Cruise, he has a romantic dalliance with Jennifer Connelly, a woman that is age appropriate, fun, bests him in some ways, you know, makes him pay the bar tab. There's like sort of, they've got a good like tension going on. That worked. But another actress could, I think, pull this off. What has Phoebe Waller-Bridge that would convince you that it was a good idea to make her the co-lead? She's not a sidekick. She is co-starring with Harrison
Not even
Ford.
co-starring, man. I think the movie's more about her than him.
Bingo. That's what makes it like, and it's like it reminds me of, and this is okay, this is gonna maybe get nerdy for a second. It reminds me of when Captain Kirk, this is Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country. There's a scene where Kirk has to leave the bridge, and Spock puts a little tracker on him, on his back, and he just seems sort of like not all there. And it reminds me of just like Harrison Ford, he's sort of along for the ride, but he doesn't know everything. He's not 10 steps ahead. She's smarter than he is. And it happens many times. It is so, everything that you have seen about the modern female lead in a movie that is annoying, it's all embodied in one character, played by Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
I will say at D23, when they brought all this, brought everyone out, apparently this was all Harrison Ford's idea, casting her.
Really?
Yeah. Like she talked, they both talked about how, it was his idea. He brought her in, and there you go. Indie ruined Indie.
You mean it was Calista Flockhart's idea?
Yeah, probably.
Oh, really?
You know what I mean?
My God.
Yeah.
Think about it. If you're Calista Flockhart, you don't want some super hot, charming woman working co-lead with your guy, right? So,
like Nicole Kidman, or someone said Naomi Watts. Even Ashley Judd. Greasy Guido says Ashley Judd.
Yeah.
I just think they could have cast someone opposite Harrison Ford that could have, she has no gravitas. She's irritating. And she also, the way that they like the way that she's so portrayed in it is just so unlikable. She is objectively unlikable. Someone there at the studio had to be looking at these rushes and sort of quick cutting together scenes and gone, this isn't working. It's not working.
But okay, besides her, the thing that really hurts this movie is the fact that the best parts of it were the first 20 minutes.
Exactly. Before you came on, Dante, I was talking about that opening action scene with Basil, his sort of like scientist companion. They're after some antiquities because the Nazis are taking all these antiquities, loading it onto a train so they can take off and deliver to the Führer. And my German accent's not that good. Anyways, but like, that was kind of a fun, it was like, oh, this feels like old school Indiana Jones. And as like we were talking about in the car when we were driving back, like I could have actually watched just a de-aged Indiana Jones adventure and kind of been into it. Like, yeah,
because that felt like Indiana Jones, right? Like, I mean, that whole sequence felt like, oh, okay, this feels like Indiana Jones. Once we leave that time period, though, once we get into old Indiana Jones, it just falls apart from there.
It completely falls apart when you get to, like, he comes off like shirtless, and he's like an old curmudgeon telling his neighbors to turn down the music, and you see
and even that was pretty damn cliche. That was so cringe, man. We get it, you're old, right? But they had him actually play the old man part. You know what I mean?
I mean, that was a shirtless Harrison Ford looking like a shirtless guy, man of that age, is all I'll say. But and then once Phoebe, first of all, that was just like, oh, this is kind of sad. And like, this is not how I want to see Indiana Jones. And then Phoebe Waller-Bridge interrupts his class to be a know-it-all. And then they set off on an adventure where she's basically screws him over. And then she's being pursued by the CIA. One compliment I will give is the production design and the costuming and wardrobe I thought was fantastic for the 60s era, was just really good. They really capture that era in terms of like the colors and whatnot. And there was a character, which I was really surprised, Mason, played by Shawnette Renee Wilson, she had the afro, and I thought she was kind of cool. I thought she was going to
cool.
do.
I liked her character a lot.
And the other thing was this, I'm trying to say some nice things because we're just going to harp on the bad stuff. But the other thing is there were some other good. Mads Mikkelsen was very good. Boyd Holbrook as Kleber was good. Jürgen Voller is what Mads Mikkelsen plays. Antonio Banderas has a part in it, which was surprising and kind of fun. But, you know, like, and there were other heavies. Like, you know, like Indiana Jones, like in the movies have kind of a where they've got like these side characters that are very memorable in terms of their look. I mean, down to the extras. So they got these little details that you would maybe fetishize over for an indie movie. They got a lot of those right, but the whole movie felt like AI made an Indiana Jones movie. Does that make sense? Like it's like a copy of an Indiana Jones film.
Yeah. The problem is that it doesn't get any better as the movie goes on, right?
Right.
Because even towards the ending, I know we're not going to talk about spoilers yet, but
not yet.
It's just it's underwhelming. It ends in a very underwhelming way.
And there were so many moments where like the filmmakers are like, you like what you just saw? You're going to clap here. You're going to clap here, right? You're going to clap here. Wait, you're going to clap here, right? And then people didn't clap. So there were moments that I
okay. In all fairness with that, though, the fact that we saw that with critics, you know, critics aren't usually the best audience, you know, to judge a movie by anyway. Like, I mean, even the best movies I've been to, when it's a critic screening, they're not cheering, they're not clapping. You know, it's more of the general crowd that does that. So I'm curious as to how the general public are going to take those scenes.
That's the thing is like, I can never, Vorpal Snack said, please clap. Please clap. Oh my God. That's when
Jeb Bush action, yeah.
That's when Jeb Bush, like, well, your political career is over and thank you. But no, it felt like there were so many please clap moments. But I don't know, like I can never. That's why I actually really don't like to see movies with a critics audience. It always kind of infuriates and frustrates me. So there you go. I want to wait till Paulie gets on here because we will spoil it. Let's go to some chat questions, comments, some super chats, and then we will get into spoilers. I promise we will get into spoilers. Deleted Scenes has become a new member. Well, thank you for that. We appreciate it. Culture Casino is here with 199. Have you been drinking, Frank? Just water. Just water. I had a couple of beers. Indiana Jones in the afternoon nap, says Jeff. Alejandro Montoya Marin. Hey, for 199. Great excuse, Alan. By the way, saw your Flamin' Hot review.
Oh, hey.
Sweet.
Did we review that officially?
On the site or on YouTube? I don't remember.
On the site we did. I remember I've only seen half of it so far. So
all right, there you go. Indiana Jones and the Ego of Phoebe Waller-Bridge, says Mr. Kirk 2019. Indiana Jones and the Chat GPT script. I'm watching this movie going like this. It's like right there. It's sort of like it's like a copy, right? It's like a copy. You know, when you meet someone that reminds you of a friend or someone from your past, and you meet them and they're like, you're kind of just like this other person I knew. And that's what this is. From Rumble, CD Stein 73 says Phoebe is ruining Indy in the process of feministing up Laura Croft. And all she needs now is to destroy Nathan Drake to screw over the trifecta of adventurers. Yeah, it's she's the worst part of the film. She is the worst part of the film.
Yeah, and I have been hearing the rumors about them considering her for Laura Croft, which I think is like it's ridiculous.
Ooh. Yeah. What do you say, Alan? You said
I'm just Laura Croft. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you know, you can't have a hot Laura Croft anymore. So
Kate J for $4.99 says Eric Weber needs moral support right now. Indy 5 really broke his will to review more movies, at least for the time being, and I don't blame him.
Actually, she's not lying, man. I was listening to Weber's review on the way home, and he was having a crisis.
Well, yeah,
like Weber was having a situation, man.
Yeah. But I mean, look, we're in the summer movie season. There are going to be some dumb movies. I'm looking forward to Oppenheimer.
You know what, though? He made a comment that I completely agree with. He said that the plot of Transformers, Beast Wars, or whatever that was, Age of Beast or whatever, that had a more believable plot than Indiana Jones 5. So I agree with that.
And Rumble, LA Scribe, were edits from all the reshoots obvious? I did not notice if there were, reshoots. It didn't stand out, but we haven't gotten to spoilers yet.
Let me ask you, the biggest complaint I had about the trailer when it first came out was that it was CG heavy. All the action scenes were CG heavy. Did it feel like that, or was, or did you at least get a sense of the old action adventure of the early films?
Oh, it's
sometimes there were some moments.
Yeah.
Well, it felt practical to you, or no?
It did in some respect, but
in some respect, yeah, there was some.
Imperfect says, I'd rather get a colonoscopy than watch this film. Well, there you go. All right, let's hang on. Let's bring on Paulie from Latino Slant.
Chris and Alan, they're critics you can't trust. With honesty like 69, they never adjust. Their opinions are like bullets, they always go bang. Their words hit like a hammer, leaving haters like Kang.
Haters like Kang.
Hey, Paulie, how's it going, man?
It's going all right. Sorry I'm late.
Oh, it's all good, man.
That rap was written by the same screenwriter of Indiana Jones 5, right?
Which one? There's 5 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we looked on the screen. We're like, how are there so many writers, including James Mangold? But, tasked with doing this. Here's the thing. As soon as they threw Phoebe Waller-Bridge into the mix, there was nothing that James Mangold could do to save it. There was nothing he could do.
And look, as good of a director as he is, you know that no matter how good of a director you are in Hollywood, once you work for Disney, they have final say. So it's not going to be his vision no matter what. It's going to be Disney's vision.
Yeah. Before we get into spoilers, Paulie, I wanted to get your we're going to get into spoilers next. Want to get your early impressions. I think we're all in agreement that the worst part of the movie is Phoebe. And like, she's just like it's one thing if she just like, oh, well, without, whatever, she's fine. She's not ruining the film, but she's not great. It's like actively makes the movie worse.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Aggressively.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is a pretty bad film. I mean,
look, I tried to, on the positive note, say production design that looked cool. They got like some stuff right with like castings and whatnot. The first 20 minutes, which is this like opening action sequence, sort of opening adventure thing. I could have watched a movie of just that because there's no Phoebe, and it was like Indiana Jones. It was like, oh, this is what I love about Indiana Jones. Could you just do that for a whole movie? But then they had to bring us to the present, and it didn't. I don't know.
Go ahead, Paulie. Sorry.
Yeah, it was like, the first 20 minutes were just really, it captured that old, Raider spirit, that Indiana spirit, and fighting the Nazis. And but unfortunately there's another 2 hours left in the movie.
I looked at my watch a couple times.
Yeah. So I mean, non-spoilers. Yeah, it's a good-looking film, and there's a little bit of magic here and there. And I kind of like the idea of the story, but there's no reason why this movie should have been this long. There's no reason Well, first of all, there's no reason why this should have been made.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but that being said, it's made. It's a film. It's got a beginning, middle, and end. And this is just another long line of travesties done by the people that run Lucasfilm. And to, as beloved as Indy is, it was kind of tainted a little bit with Crystal Skull many years ago. But a lot
Right.
of us were like, okay, we're just going to put that out of our memory. But we're so apprehensive that, with this one coming out and all the bad things you've heard about as far as production, and then just the recent track record of Disney Lucasfilm, man. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you guys.
Well, the one thing I do know is that it's tracking, but with older audiences, younger audiences don't want to see it. And I can tell you this, Phoebe Waller-Bridge's character is made for a younger audience. It is made
Really?
to appeal to young feminist women.
But that's it. That's literally it.
That sounds
Yes.
horrible. That sounds horrible.
Because remember, I kept saying right after we walked out of the theater, I was like, who is this movie for? Like, who did they make
Exactly.
this movie for?
Right.
Because the older fans like us aren't going to like it, right? And the younger generation, the Gen Zers or whatever, they don't care about this franchise. So who is this movie for?
Yeah, the magic is gone, and so is Paulie. But let me get through some more of these chat comments and questions. We're gonna pivot to spoilers in about 5 minutes. You will be warned. There are 1,100 and Alan. How many? 1,100. Huh?
Yeah, 1,169.
Thanks, Alan. Are currently watching, so smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed, because we want to get to 169,000 subscribers.
Hell yeah.
Comments and questions here, super chats from Fyodor Dankstoevsky. Spoilers. I can't wait to see this amazing, seemingly abominable film fail. JJ Chili Dogs for 199. This will end Lucasfilm for good. Blame Kathleen. Paul Turner for 5. Must have been weird for Harrison Ford to have to ask Mark Hamill for acting advice for the first time in 50 years.
Wow.
Pilgrim Media for 2. Hail Film Threat. I love your work. Well, thank you for that. We appreciate it. And is Sean Connery mentioned at all? Says MK Solid 82 for 199. No.
Nope.
In fact, we were talking earlier. There are very few member berries in this movie, other than the hat and the
whip.
And the whip. There aren't a lot of references to other parts of other Indiana Jones films.
Well, there's that one, but we'll get into that.
Yeah. There's the snakes thing with the eels. That was one.
Sala's not in it. Brody's not in it.
Well, he mentions the Temple of Doom.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is in the trailer.
Yeah.
Could Brie Larson pull it off?
No. It couldn't have been any worse, to be honest with you.
No, those are both unlikable people.
She couldn't have been any worse, though.
She's not Phoebe Waller is just not likable.
So apparently Film Threat needs to be an evening show. It's packed in here, says Imperfect.
Know,
yeah, maybe we should just do evening shows. Well, I'm always out. I'm usually not home.
We're doing these things. Going to these screens.
Ron Enriquez says, Chris, did you notice much of the score, especially for the opening sequence, was music from Last Crusade? I hope this really isn't John Williams' last. Yes, a lot of it was very familiar. They basically used, other than Phoebe Waller-Bridge's character, Helena, has her own score, but it's barely noticeable. But
she has her own movie, too.
Yeah, apparently.
This is the thing. She is co-starring in this movie with him.
Dude, she is starring in this movie, man. She's not co-starring. She is the lead of this film, man.
She is the lead. She is the lead of this film because they go off and just show her little adventure. You learn all about her as a child. There's a flashback to her as a kid. There's the little story of how she met Teddy and they became friends. And he's like a little pickpocket, who like helps her out, and they've got this sort of buddy relationship, and then basically she's a whore.
So does he just
I'm not wrong, am I?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Does he
I'm
just
not wrong.
follow her around like
He's
like
basically the short
grandpa?
round of the movie. He's short
which
round.
which amazes
It's
me.
not that bad, but it's not far from that either.
No, he's really good. Which amazes me, as far as her being, footloose and fancy free, is that she's just not physically attractive.
And also, this is the second movie I've seen in the last week where
Mhm.
it's an action movie where a woman should be able to run but cannot run.
She could. She looks-
Talking about Transformers: Rise of the Beast, the
Right.
female lead in that, with all due respect, is not very good at running, and neither is
Oh,
Phoebe
man.
Waller-Bridge.
Fedor.
Another 5 from Fyodor Dostoevsky for 5.
Nice.
Kathleen Kennedy is to film studios what Harrison Ford is to planes. Crash
Wow.
and burn. If Disney has to sell Lucasfilm, do you think they even get $1 billion? I don't know, because if you look at what was the value of all of the intellectual property owned by Lucasfilm before the sale to Disney and now, take into account inflation too.
Well, what was the sell to Disney? What did they buy it for?
It's about what, $4 billion?
Well,
It's
it was
like
with
$4
Star
billion.
Wars and everything. So
Basically Star Wars. There was also stock involved.
yeah.
What was it? $4 billion cash. It was
I
then
think they get $1 billion now if they tried to sell it.
yeah. But it's just everything is just not worth what it was. Christopher Dominguez says, were there any IKEA chairs inside of Indy 5? No.
No,
But there-
production wise, it was top notch.
Rumble from Rumble, Cozy Orlando. So when casting their lead actress, they chose poorly.
Nice.
Nice.
Well done. Well done.
Nice reference. I gotta give that was
By the
good.
way, it was just over $4 billion in cash and stock.
Leslie Jones for the new Indiana Jones, says David D.
Oof.
And Imperfect says, I'd rather give Alan a sack and crack than watch this movie.
Yeah, he does.
What's a sack and
I don't even know what that is.
No
Like a
idea.
hacky sack.
Do I dare look it up?
Did you look up? Look, I had to look up what NGL meant.
Yeah, I'm just saying if my
I don't
my
know
internet
stuff.
if my internet
don't know.
crashes, it's because I looked it up.
Yeah,
Dude,
look
I
out.
am constantly on Urban Dictionary because I have no idea what these kids are talking about these days.
Gotta
Okay,
keep up with the kids.
It refers to waxing.
Wax. Oh.
The sack,
Sack
and
and
the
crack.
Oh, okay. Wax the
Oh.
balls, wax the crack. Got it.
crack. Yeah, you want to say it that way,
Nice.
yeah.
All right.
Very disturbing.
Should we pivot to spoilers? We've been talking 45 minutes. Should we pivot to spoilers? I think no, let's go around rating for this.
Yeah, do that, and then I have something right before you go into spoilers.
Okay, cool.
You know
let's
what?
start.
I'll start it off. For me, it was it's a 5, man. It's a 5 out of 10. So
Okay. Paulie?
When I got out of the theater, it was a 6.5 out of 10. When I sat down here, it's now a 5 out of 10.
I'd say for me, it's somewhere between a 4 and a 5 out of 10. So maybe 4.5.
Yeah.
Somewhere between 4 and 5. But it's, my God, it's just Phoebe Waller-Bridge just ruined the whole movie.
you know what this movie is? This movie is a Thanksgiving movie where you're home with the family eating. It's on TV, and you just throw it on and watch it with the family.
But that's
Right.
not an Indiana Jones film, man. That's not indie.
Well, I mean, that's what this movie is. This is a Thanksgiving movie. Like, it's not a movie you pay money to go to the theater to go watch.
I see. Super chat here from Barton Bella for 5. Gal Gadot, Naomi Watts, Rachel Weisz, Kate Winslet, or Karen Gillan, who should have gotten the role?
Oh,
God,
Gal
Karen Gillan would have been amazing in this.
Karen Gillan would have been amazing. Kate Winslet would have been great.
Yeah,
I'd take any of those over
Any of them,
what we
yeah.
got.
To be honest with you,
Any of those. These 5 actresses here have so much charm individually, so much talent, and a range. You got to understand. I never seen Waller-Bridge before. Tonight, you have to understand that she's not a likable character, and the emotion, like, I don't know what it is about this particular actor, but like it's almost like she's just dead inside. I don't know, that just a dead face.
She just doesn't have charisma, man. She doesn't have charisma. She doesn't have, she
Kate
doesn't have that
Beckinsale.
thing that wants you to keep watching her.
Nah, Kate Beckinsale, no.
Michelle. I like Michelle Rodriguez, but not that wouldn't have worked.
Although I would have watched her any day.
Yeah. Alan, you said you had something for us before we get into spoilers.
Okay, so the last Indiana Jones movie I saw was The Last Crusade.
Good.
So should I see this one? Should I leave it up to the chat? Should I?
Put up a poll. Put up a poll. Should Alan see Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny? If I could vote, I'm not going to vote, but if I could vote, I would vote yes, because I want you to suffer with me. There's a scene in the movie. This is the scene out of the movie. Is they're scaling a wall, and Indiana Jones is scaling the wall, and he's like having some trouble. And she like looks at him and it's like, oh, you're having trouble scaling the wall. And it's just like, he's like, my knees, my shoulders, my this. And it's just like, I don't want to hear that shit.
Nope.
Yeah.
You're freaking Indiana Jones. It hurts. Throw some Bengay on it and you kick some ass. Like, or just don't even mention it.
Also, Alan, if you take your daughter, she'll never forgive you.
She will not see this movie. I took her to Raiders of the Lost Ark last week.
No, you should go see it.
She didn't like Raiders?
She hated it. She hated Marion, for crying out loud.
Really?
All she talked about was how bad Marion was.
Hi, Dad. I miss you.
She's so innocent. But yeah, here, I'll do this. I will abide by the chat, and you could the chat. You have the power to leave my memories of Indiana Jones intact as the greatest adventure series ever, or you could ruin it.
Is that your daughter?
What was that about?
That's Alan's Asian accent.
Well, there you go. It's a piece of shit. So, so are you throwing up the poll?
It's up there now.
Okay, cool. So at the end of the show, we'll announce the results.
That was outstanding.
But we're gonna talk spoilers for the next, however. So we should basically pivot to our spoilers. How would you define exploitation, Alan?
Exploitation, gratuitous. I was one letter off. That's all I'm saying.
All right, we're gonna get into spoilers now. I've put up a title here. We're going to talk spoilers. And Alan, I guess you're gonna have everything spoiled because you're on the show.
Yeah.
But
we're at 1,400.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yes, everyone, make sure you hit the like.
And with Rumble, it's 1,420.
Wow.
You can make it a what do you call it? A ticker, so it scrolls underneath.
Yeah. Let's make a ticker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so then at least you
I'll
have
do that
it
right.
there.
I just don't want anyone to get like.
Right, you don't want to get
I'll
axed.
just turn that one into just click ticker on the.
Boom.
Oh yeah, I can do that.
Everyone, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Smash the like. And
Wait, I'm gonna put.
This is amazing. We need to do a nighttime.
Should I?
I don't know.
Well, we can do another one of these tomorrow after the Flash.
Flash. What?
Nah, I want to have fun and hang out. We'll do it. We'll do our normal Friday morning show, but we're talking spoilers now for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. This will be the last act of the film, which we'll just cut to the chase, so to speak, because this entire movie is effectively one giant chase. And I feel like in a way they were thinking, well, let's just go back to what, the very first Raiders of the Lost Ark is all about, getting the Ark of the Covenant. You've got this little random, you have this random event at the beginning that kind of introduces the character of Indiana Jones. Then the entire thing is about pursuing the Ark of the Covenant. This entire movie is about pursuing the pieces of the Dial of Destiny, Archimedes' dial, which will allow you to travel through time. So what happens is, it's sort of a cat and mouse game between Indy and Helena and little Teddy and the group of Nazis led by Mads Mikkelsen's character. He's his character's name is Jürgen Voller. And Jürgen Voller and his heavies are after, they also want to get the dial. And it ends up where the pieces all come together. Of course, there's a lot of reversals. They have it, then they have it, then they have it, whatever. A lot of predictable stuff. And it all ends up Jürgen reveals his plan. His plan is to not just screw Hitler. You know, it's not about going back and making sure Hitler wins the war. It's about correcting all the mistakes and basically becoming a better version of Hitler. Because by using the dial, he's just going to go and correct every mistake that Hitler made. Because he's so arrogant, he thinks he's better than Hitler. This is Jürgen Voller. He puts on a Nazi uniform. He's going to go back and he's going to go to this one battle and make a change in this. There'll be a change in strategy with this battle, and he's going to change the war. As they end up, they're in a plane filled with some Nazis. They have weapons. They're going back. Indiana Jones is on the plane. Helena's on the plane, and they end up going back. There's a portal opens in the sky in this plane. And they're back in ancient Greece and Rome. There's a battle with Romans and Greeks. And it's like, wait, what? Basically, this portal that Archimedes created was a call for help from the future. It's a time machine which only takes you back to one particular place in time, which is during this pivotal battle. And he's looking for help from the future. And they interpret the plane that's in the sky as a dragon, the Romans, and they're throwing spears at it and arrows and whatever. And so it's just, so everybody's on the plane. Am I getting it right? Did I miss any details?
No, that's pretty much.
I mean, if it sounds horrible, guys, that's because it is.
I'm just describing exactly what happened. So
correct.
That's exactly what
correct.
happened.
Big sweeps.
I'll give you the basic blow-by-blow bullet points, and then I want to hear from you and from Dante and Paulie, of course, and then Alan's impression. So they go back. It's this one time. Teddy somehow learns how to fly a plane with some guy who's asleep in the back, and they actually get sucked into the portal too. So they're in this smaller plane, and they're trying to not get killed by the Romans throwing spears.
Dude, I'm like falling asleep just listening to this, man.
Okay.
But that's how bad it was.
All the Nazis, including Voller on the plane, get killed. And then, Helena and Indiana Jones get out of the plane with a parachute, and Archimedes runs over to them, and you see Voller is on the ground. He's dead, but he has a watch, and Archimedes takes the watch, which earlier they discovered Archimedes' body was wearing a watch and holding part of the Dial of Destiny. And
there was propellers on the side, hieroglyphics of the tomb.
Right. And they're like, oh, why are there propellers? This is weird. So that's explained. And Indiana Jones, just through this adventure, he's so distraught and beaten down as a man. He's just like, I'm just going to stay here in it's like 200 years BC, they explain. I'm telling you, look at Alan.
We're not making this up.
No, you have to be making this up.
No.
This cannot be the end of the
This is really what happened.
Oh my god.
So
it was so underwhelming.
You should get to the ending too. Oof.
And by the way, it's 2.5 hours. So then they get to Archimedes and his assistants or whatever, are sort of standing there, like they can kind of communicate, But so Indiana Jones is like, I just want to stay here. I just want to I'm in the past. Just let me live the rest of my life.
Let me die.
Let me die. I'm just gonna live.
Because he's been shot. So he's had this shot. He's had this
yeah, he's had this wound. Like he got shot in the chest
forever.
And he's like through the third act, he's been shot in like right in the heart. Like
he got shot in the Greek cave before they went on the plane.
No.
And remember, he's supposed to be like a 70-year-old man. So he's 70 years old with the fucking with the bullet wound in his chest for like the whole third act.
This is bad as an Obi-Wan series where everybody got a lightsaber to the chest, but nobody died.
Right.
So ridiculous. But Qui-Gon Jinn gets a lightsaber to the gut and he dies.
Right.
Stupid. So
let me guess. When Phoebe Waller-Bridge goes back into the present, he gives her the hat and the whip.
No, just hang on a second.
Okay.
So then Phoebe Waller-Bridge looks at him like, no, you've got to come to the present. Whatever. Phoebe Waller-Bridge punches him unconscious, and he wakes up in bed in his apartment in the present day. No explanation as to how they got
she's
back.
naked next to him, right?
Ooh.
No.
Wow.
And you're like, okay,
zero explanation as to how they got back.
Zero explanation. Like, I'm sure they went back in the plane, but he was unconscious the whole time. They went from Europe to there, and he's like in a coma, but he's like in. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. It doesn't make any sense.
So she throws a mean hook and blackout, and then he wakes up kind of all, where we started off at the beginning, which is bedroom, and there's sounds of clocks ticking. Aren't we clever?
Someone was asking in the chat earlier if Marion shows up. Marion does show up at the very end. It's Karen Allen, and she looked pretty good for her age. She looked pretty good. She comes back with some groceries to help them. They do recreate that scene on the ship.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, let me go back to that. Karen Allen in the first Raiders of the Lost Ark. She's on that ship and she's wearing that negligee on top of the ship, and you could literally hear the crunching of her bush hairs as the wind was. Am I wrong?
I don't even remember.
Dude,
I think you want to remember.
What?
Do you know what scene I'm talking about? There's a scene where Karen Allen is on the ship, and you see she's basically just wearing the negligee, and it's very cold out, and you basically see. Chat, back me up, chat. Back me up, chat.
Oh, my.
So poetic, Chris. Well,
in any case, Karen Allen. So what they do is there's a scene earlier in
How do
Raiders
you
of the
hear
Lost
bush
Ark
hairs, by the way? How do you hear bush hairs?
She's like, Indiana Jones is like, it hurts everywhere. It hurts everywhere. Where does it not hurt? And he's like, here. And then, she kisses it. Well, they do the reverse of that scene.
Right.
So the reverse is like.
Well, there's two lines before that, right? Because
and actually, the audience got, and I was like, oh wow, this reminds me of these are the characters I like.
Correct.
Sorry, Paulie, I interrupted.
No, it was a great little scene, but too little, too late.
Yeah.
But basically, they're kind of like, it's established that they lost their son in the war, so they've been separated, about to divorce, and they have grief. He talks about grief, which I didn't mind, but whatever. And she asked, well, where does it hurt? And he's like, physically, like, oh, it hurts all over. And she's like, yeah, it hurts all over for me too. But she's kind of taken to her grief. But then she's like, well, where doesn't it hurt? And that's where the cute little lines come in. But they're all from the old movie. And they eventually kiss.
Yeah, it's a callback to Raiders, and that scene.
Mm-hmm.
Really, it's a great scene. But that's
the whole ending, once we finally get to see what the Doll of Destiny actually does, is so underwhelming. It's almost like, what was the point of doing any of this?
Well, and it's not just that. Okay, and then it ends. Okay, so they have this cute moment, and then you see like Helena like runs off, but you look like she's on another adventure, and it's about her. The end of the movie is about her character going off on another Helena adventure. And then it irises in on the hat that's just sitting there on the clothesline, and it just cuts to black. That's the end of the movie.
Indy grabs his hat. He grabs his hat.
Right, yeah. But it's like this movie was to make her a character. So are they going to do a Helena and Teddy show? I can tell you, nobody fucking wants that. No one.
You know what though? Has that ever stopped Disney at this point? I mean, they know that they know no one wants this. They're going to do it anyway.
Please sell Lucasfilm off right away to someone that gives.
It's too late. It would be like if I had an amazing car. And I sold it to a friend, and then my friend drove it. The engine's rotted, dented. It's piece of shit. And then my friend wanted to sell the car back to me. I wouldn't want the car. That's what the IP at Lucasfilm is now. Indiana Jones dead, Star Wars dead. It's just
MCU,
Willow
dead.
Well, I'm just talking about Lucasfilm now. Look at Willow. Like, they had an opportunity. They could have made they could have made a Willow movie. Who knows? But my God, I love the look on Alan's face is like,
I'm very sad. I'm just very sad.
So, okay, as we're walking out of the movie, that's exactly how I felt. I felt sad because I'm like, my thought was this: they're running out of IP to ruin, meaning what are they going to do? They're going to have to reboot stuff, like hard reboot, like just remake Indiana Jones with Chris Pratt. Just do that, new adventures, whatever. And I felt sad. I'm like, wow, the great films, they all exist in the past. We're gonna get some highlights here and there. I'm optimistic about Oppenheimer or Mission Impossible. I'm optimistic about Dune Part 2, but for the most part, like these classic films, Hollywood cannot make these classic films anymore. They're not capable of doing it. This is why I looked like a movie. And yes, RRR, my favorite movie of last year. Hollywood isn't capable of making a movie like that now. They could be making films like that
because it's mainly because they forgot what made those movies cool in the first place, man.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they're remaking Roadhouse for God's sakes.
Right.
Well, Roadhouse. Patrick Swayze. They're remaking Roadhouse.
Well,
look, once they get to Casablanca, it's over. It is absolutely over.
Let's go to the chat comments and questions. Hey, Nuke the Fridge. Is this the actual Nuke the Fridge? Nuke the Fridge for 10. James Mangold's Star Wars movie will not happen. Also, Latino Slant is hot.
Nice.
Hey, what's up, buddy? That's Luis Leca, Nerd Report.
Hey, that's what I was saying.
Yeah, Nuke the Fridge. What's up, buddy?
Oh, that's great.
That's cool.
So
I'm just throwing in links of everyone's channels. Also,
he's a good dude. Thank you. He
is a good dude.
Is James Mangold basically cashing in Disney checks for the rest of his career?
I think he's a very talented filmmaker.
Yeah,
like
Ford versus Ferrari, for crying out loud.
As a director, he did his job as director.
Mm-hmm.
He was working for Disney, and he did what they told him to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like
That's exactly what happened.
MK Solid 82 for 499. Did you guys see the new Star Wars Outlaws game? Another brunette female lead, Kathleen Kennedy, has inserted herself into everything. It won't end. Yes, I saw the trailer for that, and that was my first thought. I just didn't care. I'm like, oh, the gameplay looks cool, but whatever. The dumb thing is there's so many really good video games with female characters, and now I think we're kind of like knee-jerk reacting, like, I mean, we might be knee-jerk reacting. It's fine, but it's always the same. I actually think you should just be able to design your own character, and that'll just shut everybody up. You know, just like in Cyberpunk 2077. In Cyberpunk 2077, you can make a girl with a penis. Did you know that?
Yeah. You can make whatever you want.
I had no idea.
You can make whatever you want.
Now,
And that
not
just
a penis, a cybernetic penis.
You can, yeah. I'm just like, you know what? Just make it so people can make what they want. But yes, MK Solid. I saw that trailer and it looked decent game, but that thought popped into my head. Alejandro Montoya Marin for 199. Paulie texted me saying Indy 5 is his favorite. That's crazy. Alejandro said that.
That's so crazy. That's crazy that I text you that. Prove it. Show me the
You're not
receipts.
being honest here. It's a
Greasy
Show me the receipts,
Guido.
Alejandro. No, Flaming
no.
Hot's
We
my
need you to
favorite.
be
this
honest,
time.
Paulie. Don't agree with Chris and Dante just because you wanna be with the crowd. You know, just stand out there. Say you liked it. Say you loved it.
Greasy Guido for 222 says, does Phoebe find Cleopatra confirm she's black? No, but that would be great.
There is a Cleopatra line though.
Fyodor Dunkastevsky for 2. Chris, just that summary of this film hurt my soul. I literally just gave you like the blow by blow of like, that's what happens. Bob Burrow for 5. So they changed the timeline to bring back Marion, but couldn't save Mutt. Did I miss it? Was there a line that like implied that he was still alive?
No, he's gone.
All right.
Mutt? No, he's gone.
Mutt is the son.
The son.
Yeah. Well, having never seen the fourth one.
Well, they explain what happens to the son in this. So
So stupid.
Pilgrim Media for 2. I watched Grace Randolph like an auto accident. Well, there you are. Thanks. Paul Turner for 5. Disney trying to sell Lucasfilm is like Biff trying to trade his car in after he met Marty McFly. Yeah, filled with shit from
Oh, I love that movie.
oh, it's such a good movie. MK Solid 82 for 199. Chris is def a 70s kid with that Bush comment. Yeah.
That was you caught me off guard, bro. You caught me off guard. With
Go
that.
back and watch that scene. Go back and watch that scene right now. This is after, the Nazis kind of like they find the sub and they're like,
Dude, I know exactly what you're talking about.
she's standing on the deck. It's windy out. I'm just saying.
Whoa.
I will say, okay, so I saw Raiders of the Lost Ark last week in a theater. The Foley is horrible. The sound effects are horrible in that movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's the old, when they're punching someone, it's those old punch sound effects that they use. It doesn't sound authentic in any way. Even gunshots, it's the old sounds, the old sound effects of guns.
Shinatsky for 2 says, "Am making original films, Chris, but needs support. Just keep making them, get feedback. Learn to take notes. Definitely learn to take notes. Would be my advice, Shinatsky. Learn to take notes. Get people who are not your friends or family to watch your movies, tell you what they really think, and then take it to heart. Don't take it personal." JJ Chili Dogs for 199. Are we going to get a new THX 1138? I don't think anybody. You know what it is. We're living it. That's the dystopian future. Authoritarian. Take your drugs. Live in your pod. Be happy. Go back and watch THX 1138, not the special edition, the actual one. Yeah, we're living it right now. We're living it in the present. Chris Bolts for 5. They remade White Men Can't Jump. No, I didn't watch it.
Yeah, I didn't watch it either.
Because no one asked for it, by the way.
True.
It looked absolutely horrible, the trailer.
Comment from Rumble, NHL, NFL 32. Part of the negotiations between the writers and studios should include that the writing needs to greatly improve on many of these films and streaming series. I don't know that you can make that a requirement of the writers, but you need to have an ability to recognize good material. That's what a producer in a studio should be capable of. They are not capable of that. Is it better or worse than Crystal Skull? I would say this. Each of them are bad for different reasons. What are your thoughts, Dante and Paul?
For me, it was better. Definitely better. But that's because I hated Crystal Skull. So
yeah, same. Paulie?
They both suck.
but it's like borderline. I think it might just be slightly better, but only because the CG was worse.
I mean, it's a
than
better
that.
looking film, and it's grounded in an Indiana Jones adventure. You know, as far as going after the dial, that was cool. There was nothing cool about Crystal Skull, so I'll give him that. But this, that's it.
Ron Enrique says Raiders is my favorite film, Chris, and even I don't remember hearing that. No, I added that sound effect in my head.
You must have.
I was joking. I was just saying she has a very noticeable bush.
You noticed. Okay.
Yeah, now I'm gonna go and see that scene again. It'll never be the same. For
Go
me.
back, everyone. Go back. All the 1,500 plus people watching right now. Smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel, and go watch Karen Allen's bush in Raiders of the Lost Ark. That
By
is
the way,
your
almost
homework assignment.
1,600. Almost 1,600 people.
Almost
It's incredible.
1,600 people.
Incredible.
We appreciate that. Alan and Sarah says, just watched Animal House again. Not sure about bush hairs, but very nice rear end.
Are you talking about
That
Donald
movie's
Sutherland?
What's that? I don't know why
Are
I
you
said
talking about
that.
Donald Sutherland? Or,
Yeah, Donald Sutherland's ass in that one scene.
Karen Allen's in that film.
Karen Allen's in it.
She was
She's
sexy back
basically
then,
banging
anyway.
the professor. There's some stuff
Oh,
there
that's right. That was her.
There's a lot of stuff in that movie that's questionable.
You know what though? It's a damn good movie. It's a damn good movie.
But I remember even then being kind of shocked by it because I had to sneak into it. I was too young to see it. And it was like one of the first R-rated movies I snuck into.
Yeah.
Dude, I saw a double feature of that and Porky's. and it changed my life, man.
Oh my God.
That was actually my first rated R movie.
Porky's.
Fyodor Donkstevsko. God.
Okay, you got worse with that.
Yeah, I got worse. I was starting to get it.
Thanks, Stovisky.
Donkstevsky for 5. Is American Graffiti a Lucasfilm property? Yes. Kennedy could find a way to ruin that. I don't think she will.
No, they could all be,
prequel.
they'll all be flipped around. All be, female drivers.
And Jason Simmers says 199. No comment, but 199. Thank you for that. Benjamin Todd for 5. So did Fleabag Waller-Bridge make the film better or worse? Let's get that out of the way.
It might have been better if we saw her bush.
I'll say this.
No, she is not attractive.
She is the worst part of the movie. She is 100% the worst part of the film. Ruins it. And it's not just, I could see a different actress having a different take and actually making this movie better. I could see that happening.
Yes, absolutely. We were talking about that when we left. Who could have stepped in there and but the writing too. But no, she's absolutely the worst thing. She kills the film. She's not likable. She's not a nice character, and she doesn't have that charm to where we're like, she's that that's a zany gal. Let's get behind her. We're gonna root for her. No,
I can tell I feel like what they were trying to do was it took place in the 60s. That was like the beginning of women's lib, and they wanted her to be like, the feminist 60s woman, just to show that the time change, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was just done in a very bad way.
Yeah.
What was done completely through today's lens.
Yeah. 100%.
I mean, not once did I believe. I still can't believe she beat up all those, Nazis. And
you're like, she basically takes on the role and does things that Indiana Jones would have done.
Yeah, she was Indy. She was Indy.
And Indy is relegated to the sidekick. Effectively.
Yeah, I was getting beat up. I was getting thrown down. And then getting shot.
He's on her journey. She's the one that wants the dial.
Absolutely garbage.
I mean, dude. For most of the movie, he's just dawdling around like fucking Joe Biden, man. I mean, it was seriously. It was sad. It was sad to watch, man. Like, I don't want my Indiana Jones to be this feeble old man.
Here's a Sean Cosgrove for 2, who's a member, says, sadly, Phoebe is an English 8.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
By the way,
Alright.
But everyone is saying Haley Atwell in the chat. Hell yeah.
oh yeah.
Hell yeah. But see, that woman's too sexy. They would never cast her in anything Kathleen Kennedy does.
Yeah, they never casted sexy women in Indiana Jones before.
Karen Allen's sexy.
Yeah. By the way, I should say over 800 people have voted. That's over half the chat.
Oh man.
Wow.
And when you're ready to end the
Okay,
poll,
we'll get the results in a minute. The Elusive for 2 says, so I need to know, Doomcock was right. What did Doomcock say?
We don't know.
I think I remember reading some stuff. It's just Reddit stuff, right? I don't know. I'm just telling you what I saw. You tell me if Doomcock was right. So Retro Nerd Girl says, I can't.
What's up, Retro?
Hey, Retro Nerd Girl. Love her channel. Subscribe to Retro Nerd Girl's channel. She has impeccable taste in pop culture. Impeccable. Jericho Leon, as a member, says, I might renew Disney Plus for Secret Invasion and will end up watching this when it comes out within the next month. Alan, you have seen the first episode of Secret Invasion. By the way, we're going to be doing review of Secret Invasion on Friday's show.
Cool.
So come by. Alan and I will have seen the first 2 episodes. Alan, what did you think of the first episode? First impression?
I am whelmed.
What?
I am whelmed by Secret Invasion.
You're whelmed, like not under or over, just medium whelmed.
Yeah, which I guess makes it underwhelming. Like I said, it's just the first episode, and someone needs to teach Disney how to write television.
Oh boy!
Wow, that's really disheartening.
Yeah,
That's amazing. All right,
you're seeing it. Well, maybe episode 2 will change my mind one way or the other.
all right.
Better or worse than She-Hulk?
Shield is better.
Ooh.
She-Hulk is better.
No, Shield. Did you say Shield or
She-Hulk.
Oh no, this is better than She-Hulk.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I thought you meant Agents of Shield.
Oh no.
Okay.
Wait, there you go. Subscribe to Retro Nerd Girl. Go to Retro Nerd Girl on YouTube. Thanks for that, Paulie. And subscribe to Latino Slant.
Yeah, I'm throwing the links to all our channels.
Yeah, including Verbal Riot Show.
Absolutely.
Alan, what is the results of the poll?
Okay. You want me to end it right now?
Well, I want end the poll and let's get the percentages.
Okay. Well, okay, I just ended it. So it was 51-49.
What?
51-49.
Wow.
And I will not be seeing Indiana
No!
Jones.
No! Are you kidding me?
Well, it was at 53 and 52% for a very long time, and then when I mentioned that we're going to end it, it dropped to 51.
Oh man, Alan, you have to go see it.
So I will say this: Indiana Jones is the greatest action adventure series ever made, and I'm stopping at Last Crusade.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
All right, well, oh God, I can't believe it. Georgie Girl says, "Woo! We saved Alan.
Yeah.
Great."
No, I mean, look, I can honestly say now, Indiana Jones, my favorite action adventure series.
Everyone is celebrating in the chat. Recount. It's rigged. There are only Fletcher Williams. There are only 3 Indiana Jones.
Exactly.
Alan has been spared. We took mercy.
There is
on
only
him.
3 Indiana Jones movies.
Oh my God. McConrad C83 says, "Oh my God, my vote matters." Only at Film Threat, not in America. We have a couple last minute super chats here, and we'll wrap things up. I'll just say, Paulie, what did you say? Christian Harloff just put up his review and he loves the movie.
Man, why did you call me out? That's
I'm not calling you out. You put it in the private chat.
I know it's private.
Who cares? People are
By the
watching.
way, Rumble is saying if everyone in Rumble had voted yes, I still would not be seeing Indiana Jones. So.
Oh, that's good to hear. All right, last two super chats. We'll wrap things up here. Fyodor Dunkevsky for 5. Do they give a good reason for Archimedes to invent time travel at least? He's inventing it as a way to it basically it's not inventing time travel. He created a portal that goes back to one point in time because he's asking for help. And what comes through the portal is a plane that basically starts attacking the Romans. So the more I say it out loud, the more dumb I feel. Warren B for 2. I dread for Laura Croft if Fleabag gets involved. Yes, that would be terrible.
That would be.
The Elusive for 5. Doomcock's rumors pre-final reshoots was Indy would die in the past and Fleabag would replace him. That did not happen.
You know what? I totally could see that it did film like that. Like they filmed. I think they changed it. I think they did that there were so much reshoots, bro.
Yeah.
It feels like they changed the ending.
No. Yeah. So it feels like that they could have ended it that way. Did the film seem to lead up to this pre-reshoot ending? Yes. If you look at the very ending that was tagged on, that could have been the ending. We're basically
kind of tonally out of place.
I just think he just died in the past. I mean, but then because that sock, that punch came out of nowhere. That was just
it was just like, what?
So
the guy is already like, dying from the, bullet wound to the chest, and you're gonna punch him. Just none of it makes sense. It's so annoying. I could see that. Like, who knows if that's that Doomcock rumor is. It seems like it could be accurate because that ending does seem kind of tacked on.
Yep.
I feel like a lot of this was shot on green screen. So
it was weird what was and what wasn't, right?
Yeah. So thank you, The Elusive, and want to thank everybody today. I want to thank you in the chat. Alan wants to get our subscriber numbers to 169,000. So please sub to our channel. I want to thank Dante from Verbal Riot Show, Paulie, Latino Slant. Want to thank. I'm mad at Alan now. I liked Alan before that poll went up, and now I'm
Alan has been spared, man.
You're barely holding on when I didn't have to see Bros. now this.
But I went to see Bros. Oh. Oh my God, man. But I want to say thank you to everybody. We will be back on Friday with another live stream. We'll be talking about Secret Invasion, the first 2 episodes. Alan and I will have seen it by then. We'll also be talking about what else are we talking about? The Flash.
The Flash, the Blackening and Elementals. Or Elemental.
The Blackening and Elemental, and none of it sounds good.
I'm seeing Asteroid City tomorrow. That's the other thing.
And you want me to see the Elemental? I can't believe that.
Yeah, there you are. So,
I actually want to see Asteroid City. So
I do want to see that.
Like to see it. Yeah. But subscribe to the channel and watch us. And I don't know what else. What else, you guys? Do you want to plug anything?
You first. Go ahead, man.
Oh, I just guys, please subscribe to the show, and
Verbal Riot.
I'll have my own I'll have my own review of Indiana Jones pretty soon. So
yeah, hit that like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and
crunch that bush hair.
Crunch it up.
Oh my God.
You're never going to live that down, Chris, right. By the way.
Yeah, that's pretty. That's a clip. That's a clip.
I know.
That's a total. That is a total 69. That's
all I can say.
Somebody is going to meme you with bush hair.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Thank you, everybody. We'll be back Friday morning at 9 a.m. And next week, court is in session, Critics Court. We're going to have Legal Mindset on our first actual attorney is going to be on the show. So there you go. All right. Take care, everyone. That's it for us. Alan?
Let's get out of here.